guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel, my Self-Care Safari YouTube. First of all, let me know what y'all think about that intro. I did it myself on Canva. Anyway, no. No guys, so I'm trying to give you guys more quality content than before. So is it giving? Yes or no? Like, is it giving? Anyway, yeah guys, so today's topic is gonna be about perception is everything, right? So I just wanted to do a quick extended video for my YouTube because this is where I primarily want to have my topics and my discussions, right? Like this is not just a YouTube, it's actually going to be my podcast and my vlog. It's going to be a lot, you know. I branch off into a lot of different areas when it comes to creating things, but that's okay. That's all right. You know what I mean? It's okay. I'm giving, you know what I mean? But perception is everything, guys. I wanted to extend the topic here because this is a topic that's very near and dear to me because I had to really shift my perspective when it came to a lot of the setbacks that I had for my own life, right? Like, for example, I had to move back in with my mom. And I don't know if any of y'all out there know the process of living on your own and then coming back home, but bruh, turn the knob all the way down because I'm not for it. Me personally, but it's not because I don't love my family. Of course I do. It's just I'm so used to being on my own that being back into the environment of, you know, where I originally started, it kind of sucks. For lack of better words, it sucks. But it's all right. Yeah, but I had to shift my perspective. Now, I say perspective is everything because, like I said in my video, you can either see the glass as half empty or you can see it as half full. But your perspective is what fuels your experience in life. So when I was going through a really tough time when I had to move back in with my mom. So I was in a really dark place mentally. It was dark, you know, and it was dark because I got to a place where I could only see my problems. I didn't know how I was going to get back on my feet. I didn't know what I was going to do for money. I didn't know how I was going to move back out. It was a lot of how the heck am I going to do this? And what is it that I even want to do? Because I lost all desire to work a job. Yeah, I didn't want to work no 9 to 5. Personally, I was like, look, I'm finna move in. And I'm gonna sit down for a second and I'm gonna figure it out. But girl, it is something else. Seriously, it's something else to like try to. It's hard to have the mindset of I'm gonna sit down and figure out everything that's gonna go on with my life in bits and pieces. It's good to make plans, but I feel like I got too overwhelmed with trying to figure out how to place my life back together to the point where I just stopped. I stopped doing anything at all. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys have been following me for a while, then you see that there was a gap between when I started posting my content and then there was a period where I just stopped posting altogether, right? So I did that. I had to take a mental break off of social media for a while to figure out even if this is even what I wanted to do, you know? Like, I tell you guys all the time, look, if my cup is not filled, I'm not gonna be on here posting on YouTube or be on social media or posting no content because this ain't one of them. See, the old Safari would have burned herself out, right? But I am Safari. I have evolved, right? Peep the hair. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole evolution going on, and I'm picking up this new thing where I fill my own cup before I find myself trying to fill everybody else's cup. So I'm loving it. I love it here. So yeah, but anyway, we're going to move on from that. But just to tie that back into the topic, man, perspective is everything because when I got so bogged down with trying to figure out how I was going to pull myself out of my own out of this dark place mentally, how I was going to pull myself out of my situation, I noticed that the more I focused on my problems, the more not just that one problem I was dealing with was it. It seemed like the more I focused on the problem, the more every single part of my life seemed like a problem, right? And my perception went from being optimistic about what could happen, because you got to think about it too. Like, what I did ultimately was make a decision to stop moving forward and take a few steps back so that I could take a giant step forward. But I started to shift out of that mindset more and more, because it went from this is an opportunity to this is hurting me and now I want to go. I want to go. I want my independence back. I want my freedom back. I want to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like it got bad. It got bad because there's nothing like feeling there. It's a different type of feeling when you feel like your independence is being robbed. At least for me. Maybe it's the Aquarius in me, maybe it ain't, I don't know. Maybe it's different for you, but for me, independence is a big thing for me. So when I feel like that's being taken away from me involuntarily, now I'm freaking out, right? But my perception ended up getting it got very dark, because like I said, I was focusing just on the problems, and it put me in the mindset of like, well, now all I have is problems. Right? I couldn't really thoroughly appreciate my family for what it was. I couldn't appreciate the time and the quality time spent with my family. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. I truly do. But my perception went from, when your perception is off, let's just be real about the situation. When your perception is off, your energy is off. Your ability to connect with people is off. Everything is off. That's why I say a lot of the times you have to take a step back and look back some of the times too. You have to take a step back for a moment, because your perception can control the way that you show up, right? And it creates a little bit of a downward spiral. For me, it did anyway, because it was like, well, I feel trapped. I feel like I don't have any way out, right? So I kind of just like, your perception is truly an important part in how you show up in life, because like I said, it controls how you show up. It controls how you connect with people, or the lack thereof. So I got in this space where I didn't want to do anything. I'm talking about full blown hermit mode. I was like, look, don't talk to me. I don't want to go out. I don't want to be around. And I cut a lot of people off, you know what I mean? But I have no regrets for cutting people off. But I got really in a place where I just needed to isolate myself. And I even started to see that as like nothing but setbacks, right? But see, I started to shift my perspective when I took a step back and I started asking myself, like, am I really upset at the fact that I don't have the material gain that I'm looking for, right? Because my version of independence is being able to have your own house, being able to have your own car, being able to have your own this, have your own that. That's what I was used to. That's what I was used to. So I had to really take a step back and ask myself, like, is that really what I'm after? Is that really what's going to fuel me or make me happy? And in a way, yes, but you have to understand, like, you have to get to the core of what it is that's truly driving your perspective. Because if you're constantly searching for external things to make you happy, that's a very dangerous game to play. That's very dangerous. So I had to take a step back and shift my perspective on what independence meant to me. And I also had to take a step back and shift my perspective on my circumstances. And what I discovered was, your circumstances don't mean nothing. They don't mean shit. I'm trying not to curse, guys. I'm not a big cursor. I don't curse, that's not me. But no, I had to shift my perspective, because your circumstances, they don't mean anything. Everything that happens outside of you is a direct reflection of what's going on internally. And I had to make that shift from, oh, I'm a victim and things are happening to me, to I have to allow what's happening right now to occur. Because see, the ego makes you think that you have to be in control all the time. And that was a big deal for me. I felt like if I'm not in control, or at least if I don't know what's going to happen next, then I felt lost. And I feel like a lot of people can get tied up in that. And that can control the narrative of your life too. But see, what you have to understand is life is more about quality than it is quantity, right? So when you shift your perspective, you need to shift the way that you express your needs. You need to shift the way that you see yourself also, right? But yeah, man. So I had to shift my perspective on a lot of things, and majority of it was how I viewed myself, right? Because like I said, I was in a dark place where all I could see was my problems. But I started to make that shift when I took a step back and was like, well, my circumstances may never change. That's a stretch, right? We're just speaking hypothetical right now because never is a strong word. That's right up there with curse words, right? For me. But look, eventually everything's going to change. Nothing is going to stay the same forever. But I had to really ask myself, if this situation never changes, and this is something you're going to have to ask yourself too, if your situation were to never change, if your circumstances were to never change, how is that going to control the narrative of your life forever? How are you going to show up if your circumstances were to never change? Does that mean that you now have to accept your stagnancy? Does that mean that your quality of life is now going to be, at a flatline level? Like, what does that mean to you? And I had to really ask myself that, because it's like, well, if my circumstances never change, what does that mean for the rest of my life? Does that mean that I have to sit here and be miserable? Because that's a mentality. That's a mindset. Being happy is a choice, regardless of what your circumstances are. It's all about your perception and what you perceive that really controls how you show up and how the overall quality of your life. So, you got to really take a step back, man, because your perspective, it fuels you. It controls how you see the world. So how you can start pulling yourself out of from going from a negative perspective to a positive perspective is just embracing the shift that comes with life. And you need to pull you got to check yourself too when it comes to your ego, because it's your ego that really is going to be like, I need to have this, I need to have that, I need to have this. But like I said, your perspective is everything. It's everything, right? So you can start seeing your setbacks as new beginnings. And that's what I started doing. I started taking the dullness or the doom and gloom and dreariness of what was going on as an opportunity to look at myself, because there are always two sides of you, right? There's your higher self, and then there's your shadow aspect of you. Now the shadow side is something that you need both. And the shadow aspect of you it's a part of you that is fueled with your ego. It's fueled with your insecurities. It's fueled with a lot of the things that nag you, that you don't like about yourself per se. But even that teaches you more about what it is that you like and what you need to heal from and grow from, right? So, I started shifting when I embraced my shadow side and told myself, like, okay, if things were to never change, right? Because we all have a plan. We all have a set destination on where we want things to go. If things never change for me, how do I want to show up, right? How do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to show up in my circumstance? How do I want to show up, right? And see, that shifting from negative to positive is as simple as shifting I can't even say simple, but it's a matter of shifting your mindset, right? It's a matter of shifting how you view yourself in the situation. Because if you're constantly looking at yourself as a victim, that takes your power away from the fact that you do still have power over the situation in an internal sense. right? Internally, you do have more power than you give yourself credit for. But here's the trick. A lot of people get themselves in a depressive state or a state of feeling stuck because they either think they're supposed to be further along than they are right now, or they're constantly reminiscing about the past. But your strength is in exactly where you are. You can only make decisions from a place of peace and presence. So you cannot rush your way into making a decision. You can't rush your way into shifting. You can't rush anything, because you have to understand this is a journey, this is a process. And shifting your perspective is the first step to manifesting anything. Shifting your perspective is one of the few things that you have to do, because ultimately, if you want to manifest anything, I don't know what you want to manifest, but let's say you want to manifest a new lifestyle, a new beginning, whatever. Ultimately, what you're manifesting is an ending too. In order for another door to open, one door has to close. But see, even that is a shift in perspective. You have to shift the way that you see what's going on around you and make it work to your advantage. So don't count yourself out and don't close yourself off. Don't close your eyes to the things that are going on around you, because it's teaching you something. It's teaching you how to prepare for your next. It's teaching you how to prepare for your new beginning, ultimately. So you can't allow yourself to just be stuck in the doom and gloom of like, oh, my world is falling apart. If it is, then allow it to. But you have to also allow yourself time to settle into the fact that this is also helping you. This is working in your advantage, right? So shifting your perspective is everything, guys, because it'll change the way that you see people, and it'll change the way that you see yourself too. And that's the biggest thing that you need to shift. If anything else, you need to change the way that you see yourself. And stop looking at yourself as a victim. Stop looking at your circumstances as, oh, this is happening to me. No, it's happening for you. So, it's everything, guys. It's something that I want to open the floor up for my listeners, right? Because I want you guys to open the floor for this conversation, because we all just went through a huge shift. 2023 was a shift. I don't know if you guys feel it, but I feel it, okay? It's like, the energy is intense. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody really knows. But, it's a new year. So it's a new shift. And you get to control the narrative on how you want things to go. So I want to open up this floor and let you guys first of all, my page is a safe place. So I want you to feel comfortable enough to say me too, or give your perspective on how you feel, how you shifted out of your perspective and your mindset. And let's create this community together, guys. I've created so many different pages. And if you have followed me all the way over to this YouTube, first of all, you are a true OG. Thank you. Seriously, thank you, guys. I really don't thank you guys enough for the following that I do have. Like, a lot of people may be in the thousands or the whatever, but I'm grateful for the followers that I have, the subscribers that I do have. Like, I not even, counting anybody out. My intention behind starting all of my pages is, if I can just reach one person and help them through the things that I went through, then I'm grateful. That's all that I really want. So I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe, join, comment, link all of your pages below, and let's build this community together, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.